Party, 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 party. Let's go!
But I said, if you gave me Mahomes, if you gave me Lamar Jackson with his great legs and Mahomes' great arm, or you gave me Baker Mayfield, who would I want? I would want Baker Mayfield, and the reason why is because Baker Mayfield...
I really think that now this is the worst case scenario for the San Francisco 49ers, is that they're going to have to cut ties with Jimmy Garoppolo if I were them. What? Oh my God! Whoa, man!
In any event, Kyle Gibson is definitely my NL Cy Young Award winner. Rock on, Gibby. And even
No way!
Oh my God!
Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome into a very special and unexpected edition of Sports Weekly here on the IM6 Network and the MI6 Sports Network. My name is Isaiah Leong. I hope all of you guys are staying warm right now. I know there is a lot of cold weather across the country and across the world right now, and also there's a lot of rain that's right now. I mean, in fact, we have been hit with a lot of rain here in the Bay Area. I mean, it was pouring today. It is still pouring right now as we speak. I see the raindrops coming down as I look out my window. But you know what? I'm in here, not out theirs, and I am staying warm. I am staying dry and staying cool. So it's definitely a good time, that's for sure. But folks, it's been a long time since we did an episode of Sports Weekly. So I thought, you know what? We couldn't do any other shows tonight because my co-hosts are not available tonight. So I was like, you know what? Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back, especially because we had such great excitement come down during the NFL playoffs, with the divisional or the wild card round. The first day was a dud, right? Texans, Browns, not a lot of excitement there. Chiefs, Dolphins. Dolphins had chances, but I mean, it was not that exciting. But on Sunday, boy, did Sunday deliver with Cowboys, Packers going into Jerry's world and doing Brock Purdy and the 49ers a big favor, going into Jerry's world and taking out the number 2 seeded Cowboys, becoming the first 7th seed in the history of the 2-7 matchup since the playoffs got expanded to beat the number 2 seed. And also, the Detroit Lions did Brock Purdy and my San Francisco 49ers another huge favor. Then a couple hours after the Cowboys game, when they played the Rams, it was a great game. It came down to the wire, but Jared Goff, boom, finds Amon-Ra St. Brown for the first down. And Detroit takes out the other team that I was most scared about as a Niner fan, the Los Angeles Rams. And Detroit and Green Bay advances. And then on Monday, you had Steelers-Bills and all that snow. And you had the Eagles and the Buccaneers playing against each other, and Philadelphia getting exposed as an absolute fraud. And that was just such great to see, especially like I've been telling you guys, Philadelphia is a massive fraud. They should have never, ever been in the spot that they were in to start the season. They should have been an 8-3 team, not a 10-1 team. In fact, they should have been an 8-9 team, not a 12-5 team. They should have been an 8-9 team. They played like an 8-9 team yesterday. Never deserved to be in the playoffs to begin with. But what an exciting week of NFL action. We got a lot of great matchups coming up this week with the divisional round. Coaches getting fired left and right. Legendary coaches leaving left and right. The coaching carousel is spinning and spinning crazily. And then you have the NBA, trade talks are heating up. Pascal Siakam might be an Indiana Pacer. That's what Shams Charania reported today. And also, you got the whole trade carousel spinning as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Don't forget, baseball season, folks. Spring training starts in February, next month. So it's definitely a very exciting time to be a sports fan. And also, don't forget about college football, man. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on. And Nick Saban retired, stunning the world. He retires. Kalen DeBoer leaves Washington after leading them to a national championship game appearance. He goes to Alabama. He's the next head coach of Alabama. It's going to be weird seeing him on the Alabama sideline and not Nick Saban next year. And then you have Jed Fish, who said, I am not leaving Arizona. I am not leaving Arizona. I love being in Arizona. Jed Fish leaves Arizona to be the next head coach at the University of Washington. And then today, Brent Brennan leaves my local school, San Jose State, to be the next head coach in Arizona. So now, one day after Chuba Purdy, the little brother of Brock Purdy, committed to play for San Jose State, Chuba Purdy's coach that I think he committed to play for in Brent Brennan. Brent Brennan has left for the University of Arizona. So that makes it interesting. By the way, big shout out and congratulations to that man right there, Chuba Purdy. He is now going to be playing for San Jose State. He announced that he's committed to the Spartans. He's going to be right here in the Bay Area with his brother, Brock Purdy. So the Purdys are going to be taking over the Bay Area. So that's definitely fun for sure. But folks, it's going to be a great show. Can't wait. We got a lot of good topics to talk about tonight. Hopefully this is going to be a great program, and hopefully some of my co-hosts will be able to join me tonight. I don't know. Some of them have said that they might be on, they might not be on. We'll see. We'll see, definitely. We'll see. But guys, if you guys like what you guys are seeing, make sure you guys share the show everywhere. We really, really want to get a lot of traction and a lot of likes and views on this show. And also, if you like what you're seeing, like the IM6 Network and the MI6 Sports Network on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, wherever you get your social media. And also, you can please give us a follow if you're watching on the MI6 Sports Network or the IM6 Sports Network YouTube account. So give us a follow there as well. But folks, feel free to drop in the comments section, and I will, happily read your comments live on the air, as we got a lot of stuff to get into here tonight. It's going to be a great show, like I said. Can't wait for it. So let's get started. And let's get started. Actually, before we get started, let me take a drink of water real quick. Let's go. All right, guys, let's start the show off with the biggest stutter of the wild card round, which was this guy right here. This man, this bad man, or aka the next bad man of the NFL. This guy right here. This man, Jordan Love, cementing himself as the next great quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love takes his Packers, his young Packers, into Jerry's World and does what no other seventh-seeded team has ever done in the history of the playoffs, which is go into the number 2 seed's home and beat the number 2 seed, the Packers, with a historic victory going into Jerry's World and upsetting the Dallas Cowboys. The Packers won that game 48, folks. Just think about that for a second. 48-32 in Jerry's World against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys playoff misery continues. Dallas was down 27-0 in the first half of this game. It was 27-7 at halftime. Dak Prescott had a pick six in that first half. But Jordan Love was just methodical. He was surgical. He was amazing in this game. 16 of 21, 272 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But the big story, and I said this when we were doing our game preview on the Midnight Express on Friday night, and that is the biggest key in this game was Aaron Jones, because the Cowboys' run defense is not that good. And I knew that because Christian McCaffrey ran havoc all over the Dallas Cowboy defense. And I said, Aaron Jones, if he gets going, watch out. And he got going all right. 21 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns in this game. For Aaron Jones. Romeo Doubs led the Packers in receiving, 6 receptions, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Meanwhile, on the Dallas side, Dak Prescott was 41 of 60, 403 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The rushing attack, Tony Pollard, 15 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Dak himself had 6 carries for 45 yards. CeeDee Lamb was caught arguing all day and all night with Dak Prescott. He had 9 carries for 110 yards. Michael Gallup had 9 catches for 110 yards for CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches, 103 yards for Michael Gallup. Josh Ferguson, the tight end, 10 catches for 93 yards. So yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of big production offensively for Dallas, but a lot of those came in garbage time for the Dallas Cowboys. It was a blowout. It was 48-16 at one point in this game. You could hear the boos there at Jerry's World. My thoughts on this game. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Folks, the Green Bay Packers have officially arrived. Jordan Love has officially arrived. Jordan Love cemented himself, folks, as the next great quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, following in the footsteps of Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love. And all those Jordan Love haters can shut up, because what he did going into Jerry's World, a tough place to play with that great defense with Micah Parsons, Jordan Love was just slicing and dicing the Cowboys up all night long. I mean, this dude, whether he was getting hit, throwing off his back foot, I saw shades of Patrick Mahomes out there on the football field. I mean, there was that one impressive throw where he is about to get hit. I think it was DeMarcus Lawrence that is coming in to try to get him. And Jordan Love is about to get hit. He's falling on his back. He throws off his back foot, just throws it up there and just zips it I think it was like 40, 50 yards for a touchdown to, I believe it was Romeo Doubs, that gave the Packers a 20-0 lead. I mean, that was one of the most impressive throws that I've seen. And then also zipping the ball into double coverage perfectly, fitting it nicely in deep coverage. I mean, the guy was making great throws all game long. And, I mean, he was making sidearm throws too. Like, it was crazy what Jordan Love was doing. You know, Jordan Love has been really inconsistent this season. I mean, it's his first season starting. But, I mean, the guy put on a clinic. He put on a show. And, I mean, he is definitely the future of the Green Bay Packers. If I'm a Niners fan, and I am a Niners fan, I am scared of Jordan Love in the divisional round, because I know our defense, and I will talk about the Niners-Packers game later, but I know our defense hasn't been able to get to the quarterback as of late. And that's a big issue, because when you're facing a guy like Jordan Love, who's got a cannon of an arm, you cannot let him sit back in the pocket and just stand there, do whatever he wants, and just and just let him sling that pigskin up and down the football field. You cannot do that. He's going to torch you. In our secondary, when we played against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes was able, in the second half, to just slice and dice us up because we didn't get any pressure. Nick Bosa didn't get any pressure. Eric Armstead didn't get any pressure. DeForest Buckner didn't get any pressure. So therefore, Mahomes was able just to slice and dice us up, and that's why we got screwed. And same thing when we played the Bills a couple of years ago. Same thing. No pass rush. Josh Allen, thank you so much. Boom, boom, boom. And that's why Josh Allen was able to have a big game against the 49ers. But yeah, I'm scared of Jordan Love. Jordan Love played sensational in this game. The defense for the Packers, give Joe Barry a lot of credit. They brought a lot of blitzes, but the coverage, was outstanding in this game. The secondary, Jair Alexander, hopefully he's okay. Had a big game in the secondary for the Green Bay Packers. Also, you got to look at guys like Luke Musgrave, who was great. Wicks, he was phenomenal. Tyler Kraft didn't really have a big game receiving, but blocking Michael Parsons. Matt LaFleur, I think he really did a good job offensively of putting Jordan Love in a position to succeed, whether it was getting the ball out quick, using the running game to his advantage. Also, the blocking. And this is what Kyle Shanahan should have done last year in the NFC Championship. And what he should have done was he should have put a lot of help on Hassan Reddick. And that's what Matt LaFleur did in this game. You have Micah Parsons out there lined up one-on-one. What he did was, and I think it was on Gojo and Golick. Mike Golick Jr., his son, they have a great show on, I think it's The Zone. But what they talked about was Micah Parsons is there, right? Micah Parsons is there. He's standing the right corner. So he's coming to rush the passer. You have the offensive lineman go one-on-one against him. And obviously, the offensive lineman is going to get beat, but you have the offensive lineman go one-on-one against Micah Parsons. He gets beat, but you also have the running back coming in behind him to chip and help block Micah Parsons. And they did a really good job, whether it was sending running backs to block, tight ends to block and help chip, they did a great job with the blocking scheme. And Jordan Love just getting the football out quick, getting the football out, making exceptional throws after exceptional throws after exceptional throws. The running game, Aaron Jones just completely exposing the Cowboys. They have a scary offense. The defense, that was, I think, the biggest key. The defense played great in this game. The coverage designs were fantastic by Joe Barry. The pass rush was not great in the first half. They didn't really get after the quarterback, but Dak Prescott did not have anywhere to go with the football because the coverage in the back end was just so great. So kudos to Joe Barry, kudos to Matt LaFleur. Great game planning both on offense and on defense for the Green Bay Packers to help win this game. But what a win. What a transformational win by the Packers. Jordan Love, a lot of people thought, Packers are young, Packers are inconsistent, they're not going to go to Jerry's World and beat the Cowboys. Well, they did. And now I could see the Packers pulling a 2011 or 2007 Giants run and just, going far because, the Packers are playing with nothing to lose. And obviously those are the teams, if you notice in sports, those are the teams that always give you the most trouble. And I think that, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run. I hope they don't beat my Niners, but I won't be surprised if they did because, Green Bay, like I said, playing with nothing to lose, playing good football, just having fun out there. They're playing loose. You could see it. They already met every expectation known to mankind. They are a dangerous team, and they are a really, really dangerous team to watch out in these playoffs. And we've seen, a lot of Cinderella runs could happen in these playoffs. So kudos to Green Bay, kudos to Matt LaFleur. What a job by Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, let's get into the Cowboys, guys, because I think that's why a lot of people are here, because they want to hear me speak on the Dallas Cowboys. And let me tell you guys this. Didn't I tell you, folks? I told you guys on Friday night, do not be shocked if the Dallas Cowboys are upset by the Green Bay Packers. I told you guys, do not sleep on the Green Bay Packers, because like I said, the Packers are playing with nothing to lose. Dallas is all the pressure. They're going to be uptight. Everybody's picking Dallas to go far in the playoffs, and Dallas always wilts under pressure. Mike McCarthy always wilts under pressure, and Dak Prescott always wilts under pressure. And wow, what happened, folks? All the stuff that I said about why you should watch out for the Green Bay Packers, why you should watch out for why you should watch out for why the Dallas Cowboys could lose, came true. It came true, and they got exposed as frauds. Dak Prescott, this dude is one of the biggest playoff chokers in the history of the playoffs. I mean, every time the playoffs rolls around, he just chokes. He just makes bad throws after bad throws after bad throws, and he makes bad interceptions after bad interceptions after bad interceptions. And, Mike McCarthy. Let me tell you right now about Mike McCarthy. First of all, Packers defense did a great job stopping the run, limiting the run game, forcing the Cowboys to throw the football, because they didn't believe in Dak, and nobody believes in Dak come playoff time, so they did a great job with that. But Dak Prescott, first of all, the coverage, something was wrong with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott all game long. I don't know what it was, but CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, that connection, which is always great, it wasn't the same in this game. It wasn't the same. And when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, why did they lose? It's because the defense got exposed. Micah Parsons, when they chipped him, when they put all the attention on him, nobody else stepped up. Dak Prescott made a lot of mistakes. The defense, everybody's like, oh, the defense is so good. The defense is so good. No, they're not. They didn't play anybody all year long, and they finally played someone like Jordan Love, and they get exposed. And the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, conservative play calling. The offense was asleep throughout the entire first half. The passing attack, guys are dropping passes left and right. I mean, the tight end Ferguson dropped, that first drive the Cowboys have after the Packers went down the field, scored a touchdown. I mean, that was crucial for the Dallas Cowboys. He drops the pass, Packers get the ball right back, and then boom, 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 right down the field, another touchdown for Green Bay. That really swung the momentum right there. And, for Dallas, as, I think we have my guy Loro about to hop on, but this was just a plain choke for Dallas. I mean, the defense, I don't know, Dan Quinn, this is a really bad look for him, as we have my guy Loro here. But Dan Quinn, this was a really bad look for him. You're supposed to be this defensive genius, and you're playing this Green Bay team who's been inconsistent all year long. And guess what? You give up 48 points. I mean, it was like the Chargers against the Raiders game in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. But the Cowboys, just a disappointing performance. We're going to talk about Mike McCarthy, but I 1,000% think that Mike McCarthy cannot survive this, especially after Jerry Jones's comments, in which he said that he was absolutely floored by this loss, and he was very disappointed, and he never thought that he would contemplate even making a change. But here we are. Cowboys are done in the first round, losing to the number 7th seed in the playoff, first time that's ever happened. But Loro, welcome to the program, man. Welcome to not an emergency edition, but a a show that we had to do. How are you doing, man? And what's your thoughts on Jordan Love and the Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers going into Jerry's World and beating Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys and knocking them out of the playoffs early once again?
The thing about the Cowboys is they're a 12-win team every year. They say they are going to go to the Super Bowl. They have a good run game. I mean, Dak Prescott chokes under pressure again. Defensively, the Cowboys just didn't have it. But, I felt like that this was a team that the Dallas Cowboys should have handled very easily with this talent, with all the talent that they have. But to me, the Dallas Cowboys are overrated. They're all hype. They're kind of like Steven's Vikings when you compare that. I like the Cowboys because of the talent and the players they have, but to me, their fans are overrated and their fan base is very overrated and they're frauds. I'm not saying the team is a fraud. The fan base of the Dallas Cowboys is frauds because they always want Super Bowls. They always want this. They always want that, but they don't get it.
No, you're right. They don't get it. And I thought that you're absolutely right. The Cowboys were exposed as frauds, like the Vikings are. Dak Prescott was exposed as a fraud. And the defense, quite honestly, was exposed as a fraud. But Loro, let's get into the Packers. Jordan Love, what a game he had in this game. I said before you came on that I thought he looked like Patrick Mahomes out there with some of the throws that he was making. What did you make of the Green Bay Packers performance, especially Jordan Love?
What told me is that Jordan Love is the guy going forward for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, he had a bad first half of the season. He started to grow on his own in the second half of the year. And what tells me is that I think Jordan Love is going to be a guy where I think he's going to be a great quarterback come playoff time. And I do think that he will be playing a playoff game in Lambeau Field at some point because I can sense it because he can thrive in the cold in Lambeau. But I'm saying down the line he's gonna be playing in a playoff game at Lambeau Field. But he's got to go to San Francisco first. But I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to build off a great year this year. And I think that tells me that next year they're going to be even better just because Jordan Love is going to get better. I feel like the team is going to surround him with more weapons. And I felt like the defense has done a really good job as of late.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Green Bay Packers sent a loud and clear message to us that they're going to be Super Bowl contenders next season, and they are a scary team to watch. You give Jordan Love maybe a number one receiver like a Mike Evans or someone else like that, and you add some pieces on the defense. Oh my gosh, watch out for the Green Bay Packers next season. But Laurel, I want to get your thoughts as we move to our second topic. Jerry Jones said after the game that this was one of the most painful losses that he's ever experienced in his career working in sports. And he said that, when asked about Mike McCarthy's job, he said that, he's not really thinking about it, he hasn't really thought about it, and didn't really give Mike McCarthy a vote of confidence. After the Cowboys' 48-32 blowout loss to the Green Bay Packers and becoming the first 2 seed to lose to a 7 seed, do you believe, Loro, that Mike McCarthy is gone following this loss? And if so, who do you think Jerry Jones and Dallas should hire as the next head coach?
Absolutely, I think Mike McCarthy is gone because Mike McCarthy is solely responsible for losing to his former team. I don't think Jerry Jones is going to have enough time, is not going to waste his time with him anymore because Jerry Jones is 81. Jerry Jones is very impatient. Jerry Jones wants a Lombardi trophy in his hands before he leaves this world, because he said that he's running out of time of seeing seeing the Cowboys in the Super Bowl and lifting a Lombardi trophy, because that's what he is all about, And to answer your question about who I think should replace Mike McCarthy, it should be Bill Belichick, because I feel like Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick will be on the same page. I feel like Bill Belichick can fix Dak Prescott, and I feel like that Bill Belichick wants to get to Don Shula's record, and I think Dallas would be a really good place for Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I agree with all your points that you made. Mike McCarthy is gone. I will 1,000,000% be shocked if Mike McCarthy remains as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, Mike McCarthy, Laurel, cannot survive this, in my opinion. Jerry Jones didn't give him any, vote of confidence in the regular season. And then after the game, Jerry was pissed. Like, you could tell. Like, Jerry Jones was so mad after the game. Like, he said he was floored by the loss. He expected the Cowboys to advance. He doesn't know what happened. He said that, they expected the Dallas Cowboys to have another playoff game at home. And also he said that this was the most painful loss that he's experienced as an owner. And that says a lot of stuff, because Jerry Jones has experienced a lot in his tenure as an owner. So Mike McCarthy is gone. There's no way whatsoever he's coming back.
I
Mike
feel
McCarthy,
like the real problem for the Dallas Cowboys is Jerry Jones, because I think Jerry Jones just has too much on his plate. Like, he should just focus on owning the team and not being involved in team personnel.
No, he shouldn't. You're right. I don't think he should be involved in team personnel. And I don't like that he always gives like these press conferences after the game. Like, I really think that really takes away from the coaches of the Cowboys. But as far as who should be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I agree with you. And I said this when I did the Midnight Express on Friday. And I think I also said this on our NFL Playoff Palooza. The next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Loro, should be your former coach. Bill Belichick should take over and be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, because Bill Belichick will not take any BS from Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones knows that he's 81 years old. Jerry Jones knows that, he wants to win a Super Bowl. And you have the greatest coach of all time there in Bill Belichick. And if you give Bill Belichick this roster, right? You give him Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, you add some pieces to it. I mean, that's a great roster. That's a super team right there. You add the greatest coach of all time to a super team. I think Bill Belichick will definitely, your former coach will definitely make the Super Bowl. And I think if Dallas gets Bill Belichick, I think they're winning the Super Bowl with Bill Belichick next season, because Bill Belichick will set a culture. He's not going to tolerate BS from Jerry. And I think Jerry Jones knows that, hey, this is Bill Belichick. So, and reports are that Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones have a really, really good relationship. So I think that Jerry Jones will let Bill Belichick run some of the personnel there in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying that Bill Belichick will have team personnel and control of the roster and he does become the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't think he'll have all of it, but I think he will have like the final say, because him and Jerry Jones have a really good relationship reportedly. I think someone said this on Twitter that after Bill Belichick got fired in Cleveland, he bumped into Jerry Jones at a ski resort somewhere, I think in Colorado, in the offseason, and he told Jerry Jones, like, hey, and Jerry Jones, I think, said this on the radio, that Jerry Jones or Bill Belichick told Jerry Jones, hey, don't forget about me whenever you have a coaching search, because I can coach. Even though I got fired by the Cleveland Browns, I can coach. And Jerry Jones said he hasn't forgotten about that conversation since that time, which was like 1993. So I think that Jerry Jones will hire Bill Belichick, and I think that he'll give Bill Belichick power, I think, to run the organization how he wants to run it. And I think that all Jerry Jones just does is let Bill Belichick run it. Bill Belichick knows more football than Jerry Jones. And if Jerry Jones lets Bill Belichick bring in his own staff and run it, I think you will see Josh McDaniels become offensive coordinator. I think Josh McDaniels will really help Dak Prescott. And I think Belichick runs the defense.
McDaniels might join Gerard Mayo's staff in New England.
Yeah, that could happen. Or if that doesn't happen with Josh McDaniels, then I can see maybe Bill O'Brien becoming offensive coordinator in Dallas. But please, Bill Belichick, do not bring Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator in Dallas. You will fail if that happens.
Are you saying Matt Patricia should be defensive coordinator?
I think he should, but I don't think he should run the defense, especially after what happened in Philadelphia. But I think that Bill Belichick will bring a lot of his coaching staff that he had with him in New England to Dallas if he does join the Cowboys.
I was asking that because I feel like that if Patricia is defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, it's going to be Bill Belichick that's going to call the defense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Bill Belichick that'll call the defense as well. And I think Bill Belichick will do a great job because Bill Belichick does great with great pass rushers. And you look at Lawrence Taylor, you had Dante Hightower for a number of years, Matthew Judon. Bill Belichick, you give him Micah freaking Parsons, Loro. Oh my goodness, man, that is going to be a crazy combination for sure. But Loro, let me ask you, as we move to the other NFC East team who got embarrassed in the playoffs, the Philadelphia Eagles got destroyed last night by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 32-9 to lose and cap off their late season collapse and get exit in the first round. Jason Kelce, their superstar center, announced that he is retiring after the game, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. And the Bucs, what a game by Baker Mayfield. What a game by the defense. The Eagles' defense was non-existent. Loro, what is your thoughts on Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles getting trounced by Baker Mayfield and the Bucs and losing the first round to complete their historic late season collapse?
I feel like that, the Philadelphia Eagles, they lost it. I feel like that their defense, with all this talent that they have, they just did not do its job. I feel like it's because it's bad play calling by Sean Desai. I didn't think Matt Patricia did a good enough job to help the Eagles survive in this NFC East. I feel like offensively the Eagles are fine. I feel like Brian Johnson did an okay enough job to keep the Eagles afloat on offense, but I know Jalen Hurts really likes Brian Johnson as the offensive coordinator because he's very comfortable with him, but a lot of people are saying the Eagles don't run an NFL, a modern-day offense. They run a college-style offense, which doesn't really work in the NFL because they run this air raid offense. They use it from the Mike Leach and Cliff Kingsbury book that does not really work in the NFL because they use the Mike Leach offense more college. So I just don't think Nick Sirianni is going to get fired. I think he's a great coach. I think he does a great job with the team, but I just think he needs to change his defensive staff.
For me, this was embarrassing for the Eagles, and I'm not surprised because I think, Loro, we did our NFL playoff preview palooza on last week, and we both picked the Bucs to win this game because the Eagles' defense have been really bad. I'm not shocked that the Buccaneers blew out the Eagles. I would have been shocked if they didn't. because the Eagles defense are just so bad. You can make me and you look good, or they can make me and you look good as quarterbacks out there. I mean, the secondary was completely lost. The linebackers were out of place. They were lost all night. The defense got some pressure, but when they didn't, I mean, it was all bets were off with that secondary and that linebacking corps. First off, let's talk about the Bucs. Baker Mayfield, I mean, that guy is a great quarterback in the NFL. What a game that he had. He definitely, I was very impressed by what I saw. Credit to him. Todd Bowles, with his defensive coverages, his blitzes, I mean, they came at the right time and they were outstanding. And also credit to the Eagles. I mean, they became one of the first teams in the NFL to stop the tush push. I mean, the tush push always works. It's always automatic, but the Bucs actually stopped it low roll when the Eagles were going for two. So kudos to them. But I really think that this game came down to the Eagles defense not being able to stop anybody on defense. The Eagles offense couldn't get anything going in the second half. I don't think they even scored a point in the second half, which is very concerning. And that safety basically ended the game when Jalen Hurts got sacked. He threw the ball away, but then it was intentional grounding. That basically ended the game for the Eagles because they just couldn't get anything going offensively. And it was kind of a microcosm of their entire season, just bad defense, offense gets it going a little bit, gets into a funk, and then they can't get anything going. So this, in my opinion, this historic collapse, Loro, was a total undressing of Nick Sirianni as a head coach. I mean, I've never really believed in Nick Sirianni. I thought he was a fraud. His coordinators, Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, I think were the biggest factors of why the Eagles had a lot of success last season. And I've been saying this all along. The Eagles are a fraud, and they proved it last night. And I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, A.J. Brown, if he had played, would have helped. Yeah, it would have helped, but they still would have lost, I think, because that defense just couldn't stop anybody. But, Laurel, you know this. Jeffrey Lurie is not a patient owner. And you could see it in the box yesterday. Jeffrey Lurie was mad. He was angry, and he looked like he was about to fire the entire organization. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But the Eagles, what a mess, man. 10-1. I said this earlier. They should have been an 8-9 team. They finished 12-5. Yeah. They were just a mess. There's drama now in the locker room. Guys are retiring or leaving left and right. Like, it's just a mess. And I think the Eagles, they definitely have a lot to fix moving forward there in Philadelphia. But the Bucs, I mean, the Bucs can be scary, Laurel. I picked them to go to the NFC Championship. And with that offense, with Baker playing the way that he did, Mike Evans playing well, Chris Godwin playing well, that defense seems to have found its groove. I mean, watch out. Tampa Bay I think they can go into Detroit next week and definitely beat the Lions. We'll get into that game later. But, Laurel, going to the next topic, I think we both touched about on this a little bit. Nick Sirianni and the Eagles, when they lost 6 of their final 8 games after starting 10-1, there were players fighting left and right in the locker room, players calling out coaches in the media. They are just a huge mess right now. But do you think that Jeffrey Lurie and the Philadelphia Eagles, should they fire Nick Sirianni following their embarrassing defeat? And what do you think are some changes that Philly should make to turn their team around?
First of all, I'm going to say no to Jeffrey Lurie firing Nick Sirianni because he just led you to a Super Bowl a year ago. And that collapse, I didn't really think it was on Nick Sirianni. It was more so the defensive coaches. I think you got to fire Sean Desai. I feel like that you got to go outside the box to hire a new defensive coordinator. And I feel like that former Chargers head coach Brandon Staley should be on Sirianni's radar to run this defense. He is a great defensive coordinator that really can help turn around this defense. I also think that other changes to the defensive staff need to be made as well.
Laurel, I respectfully disagree. I think Nick Sirianni needs to go, and the reason why is because the entire organization is just
because he didn't deserve to be he didn't deserve to have popcorn being thrown at
No, he didn't deserve to have popcorn thrown at him. That was ridiculous. That fan that threw that popcorn at him, he should be banned from all stadiums. But the entire organization is just fighting right now. I feel like what Philly needs is like a Mike Vrabel or a Bill Belichick, a guy that's no nonsense. He's not going to put up with BS. They need someone to fix the culture there in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got a culture problem. That's what they have. The guys just seem like they aren't listening to the coaches. Even AJ Brown admitted in his exit interview that players were kind of like not listening to coaches. They were freelancing. That's a big problem in Philadelphia. That means the players have tuned out the coaches. And when you tuned out the coaches, there's never really getting back from that. So I think the coaching staff should be booted out just because I think that they need a culture changer there in Philadelphia. And they need a guy like Belichick who's not going to put up with any BS there in Philly. I agree, though. If Sirianni doesn't get fired, they need to completely fire their defensive staff. Sean Desai, Matt Patricia out. Everybody, cornerbacks coach, secondary coach, linebackers coach out, defensive line coach out. They got to get rid of the entire defensive staff. That defense was horrible. The tackling was bad. Even Ray Lewis was so mad at the Eagles tackling, and he never even played for the Eagles when he was on the Manning cast yesterday. It was just a mess. Like they let Drew Lock torch that defense. That's how bad of a mess that was. And I mean, that defense, they definitely need to boot out everybody. If I'm the Eagles, if they do fire Sirianni, who I think is a fraud, if they fire Sirianni, go get Mike Vrabel. Go get Bill Belichick. Go get one of those coaches that's not going to put up with BS because you need a guy that can fix the culture. Eric Bieniemy would be a good one as well to fix that culture in Philadelphia. But they need a guy that can fix the culture. They have more problems than the defense. They need a guy that can fix the culture and help rebuild the fences of that locker room because it looks like that locker room is fractured right now in Philadelphia. So I think he should be fired. Loro doesn't think he should be fired. But guys, give us your comments. Do you guys think Nick Sirianni should be fired? We'll read that comments in the comment section. But Loro, you had something to add about Sirianni?
I mean, I feel like that, Nick Sirianni did make dumb decisions, but it just doesn't mean that he deserves to get the boot.
Well, I also think Nick Sirianni, the problem with him, though, is he should stop acting like really cocky. Like whether it's you're sticking your tongue out at the camera or, when you beat the Chiefs, you tell Chiefs fans, like, F you, like, see you later. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, you need to be more professional than that. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like Nick Sirianni. It's because of that. And when you're losing, like, those actions just don't really look that good. So, we'll see what happens. Jerry Jones and Jeffrey Lurie, we'll see. They have a big decision to make in the coming weeks or in the coming days. We'll see what happens. But, Laurel, let's get into the divisional round. I know we'll probably be doing a show later on in the week to do our final predictions. So this is kind of like an early, predictions preview of the divisional playoff games. But let's get into the first playoff game that we have here. And this is Saturday afternoon, this upcoming Saturday afternoon. On ESPN and ABC, we have the Houston Texans, CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans after a big win over the Cleveland Browns on Saturday. CJ Stroud and the Texans will go to Baltimore to play Lamar Jackson and the number one seeded Baltimore Ravens at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, 4:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Loro, who are you going to go with? Who's your early prediction? Are you going with CJ Stroud and the Texans, or are you going to go with Lamar and the Ravens to advance?
I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. I think because this team is very hungry, their defense is going to do a great job against CJ Stroud. I also think that Lamar Jackson is going to torch that young Texans D, but at the same time, I feel like that the Texans are going to build on this season and use it as motivation for them next year to compete with Jacksonville for the AFC East South, because nobody thought the Houston Texans would win the division.
Yeah, I agree. Laura, what's your score prediction for that game if you had to give one for Texans Ravens?
I'm going to say I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 27-24 Baltimore.
All right. For me, Baltimore is really good at, they're really good running the football. I'm not really a big fan of Lamar Jackson when he throws the ball. His weapons aren't that great. It's going to be a great game because CJ Stroud's a really good passer. And also he can make plays with his legs. The Texans defense led by Will Anderson have been really strong as of late. This is going to be a good game, like you mentioned. I can't wait to watch it on Saturday afternoon after I get back from work. It's going to be sunny, 27 degrees at kickoff, so it's going to be a great game. But Laurel, for me, I'm going with the upset. Give me C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans to go into Baltimore and upset the Ravens. The Ravens have had a hard time after, being good after a bye week. And C.J. Stroud and the Texans are red hot, and we learned this week. Don't count out the red hot teams because that's what they end up having a big factor in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Texans. I think they win this game 27. I'm going to go 27-21. CJ Stroud has a great day. The Ravens defensive line is very good. I don't trust their back end of the secondary. And if you give CJ Stroud a lot of time to throw the football, I think CJ Stroud can slice and dice up that secondary. But it's going to be a great game, and I can't wait. But I'm going to go with Houston in an upset as my early prediction. But going in, Loro, to my game, the Niners and the Packers, Jordan Love versus this man, Brock Purdy. Can't wait for this game. The rivalry between the Niners and the Packers continues at Levi Stadium at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:15 p.m. Pacific Time on Fox on Saturday night. Loro, I'll go first on this. Give me Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Packers. I am a little bit scared of the Packers because Jordan Love, he looks like, prime Patrick Mahomes out there right now, and the Niners defense hasn't been able to get after the quarterback. So if the Niners defense can't get after the quarterback, I think Jordan Love will be able to slice and dice our secondary. But that Green Bay defense, I don't trust them. They had a stud defensive lineman just tear his ACL recently against the Cowboys, so he's going to be out. That's a big blow. Jair Alexander might not play, so that might be a big blow. The run defense, I mean, I know they did really good, but the Niners have better weapons on offense than the Cowboys. With CMC, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, they have so many ways to hurt you. I think the Niners get off to a fast start, and I don't think they look back. I'm going to go with the Niners to win this game. I'm going to go 41 to 27. I think Green Bay and Jordan Love, they'll be in this game, but I think the Niners offense is too much in this game. But Jordan Love, I think, will have a great day against the Niners. So I'm going Niners 41 to 27. Laurel, who are you going with, Niners or Packers?
I'm going with the 49ers because I feel like that Jordan Love is going to build on from this year, and I think next year he's going to be a lot better. As for the Niners, I just feel like that this team is really hungry to get back to the Super Bowl. I think this is their best chance to win it. I think this is their best chance to make a return to the NFC Championship game to play either Detroit or Tampa, and I think that they will most likely get back to the Super Bowl. I'll tell you.
All right, so Loro and I are going with the Niners for Texans and Ravens. He's got the Ravens. I got the Texans in an upset. Let's go to the Sunday games. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers against Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. You know that stadium is going to be rocking there in Detroit after their first playoff win in 30 years this past Sunday. Loro, I'll go to you first. Are you going with the Bucs? Or are you going with the Lions, and what's your score prediction?
I'm going with the Detroit Lions. I think they win. I'm going to say 35-17 because I really think that this Lions team is on a whole nother level. and I have them going to San Francisco for the NFC Championship game.
Wow, that's going to be fun. For me, I am sticking with my prediction that I made during our preview palooza. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Bucks and Baker Mayfield to go into Detroit and upset the Detroit Lions. Todd Bowles has had Jared Goff's number in the past, and I think Jared Goff will struggle in this game. I think they'll stop the run, force Goff to beat them with the passing game. And I don't think he will be able to do that. And Baker's red hot right now. Mike Evans has great confidence. Chris Godwin's got great confidence. I don't trust that defense of the Detroit Lions because, Aiden Hutchinson is great, but they don't really have other pass rushers besides him. And I think that the Buccaneers, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a shootout. But I think that both offenses are going to score points. But give me the Bucks to win this game. I think Baker, red hot Baker, with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, that running game with White. They're just, I feel like they're going to, go into Detroit. They're going to have the last laugh. Give me the Buccaneers to win this game. I'm going to go 28-24 Bucks with a late touchdown. Baker to Chris Godwin late to win the game. And Laura, we go to our final game. This is going to be, I think, one of the best games, not only of this weekend, but the entire playoffs. We have another edition of Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, Bills, Chiefs. This time it's in Buffalo. It's in Buffalo, not Kansas City. And it's going to be really cold there in Orchard Park in Buffalo. I can't wait for this game. I know you're looking forward to this game as well. The degrees for kickoff, it's actually going to be a lot colder or a lot warmer than it was, for the Bills-Steelers game. It's going to be about 24 degrees at kickoff, mostly cloudy skies, but it's going to be fun. Can't wait. Loro, I'll go to you first. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, Bills, Chiefs. Winner goes to the AFC Championship. Doesn't get any better than this. Who do you have?
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I really think that they really have tried to beat Kansas City in the playoffs. I think Kansas City's weapons is not that great. I think their streak of going to the AFC Championship game is going to come to a close. I just think that Josh Allen is a lot hungrier than Patrick Mahomes right now. I feel like the Chiefs are going to need to address getting a number one receiver for Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Laurel. I am going to go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to finally get their revenge after so many heartbreaking losses to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs and beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and go to the AFC Championship. This is in Buffalo. The crowd's going to be loud. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a fun game where these two quarterbacks air it out. But the Bills offense under Joe Brady, who, Laura, both of us like Joe Brady a lot. I think he's might get a head coaching job this offseason. Who knows? But Joe Brady's turned that offense around. That offense with James Cook, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, they have so many weapons to beat you like the Niners. The Chiefs offense is kind of like the Eagles. They have spurts that they're great, and then they have spurts where they're not great. And they rely a lot on that defense. But with the Chiefs have not seen a passing attack and an offense that's explosive as the Buffalo Bills. So give me the Bills to win this game. I'm going to go Buffalo 37-27. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a high-flying shootout, but give me the Bills to win this game. So those are our predictions. Lauro, the last topic before we end the show that I want to hit on is about our Lakers. I mean, what a win that we had against the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. But, the Lakers have had talks with the Hawks to try to get DeJounte Murray. There's also been rumors that they've had talks to get Zach LaVine. Lauro, both of us are Laker fans. And also there was a report today that Brian Windhorst reported that the Lakers have a 0.0 chance of trading for Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine's trade value is so low that the Chicago Bulls, if they could find anybody to even give them something, they would drive Zach LaVine to the airport to get him out of town. Lauro, number one, if you're the Lakers, if you're running the Lakers, who do you want on the Lakers? Do you want the Lakers to trade for DeJounte Murray, or do you want the Lakers to trade for Zach LaVine?
I would go Zach LaVine. I think we need a young star guard to help put pressure off of LeBron and AD. And I think that when we get Zach LaVine, I think that the Lakers are going to be a team where I think they're going to win a championship with that.
Yeah, I think I agree too. I'm going to go with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, I don't know why a lot of people are hating on him. I mean, this guy's a 28-year-old. He's averaging 25 points a game. He's an automatic bucket. He's a superstar. And everybody's saying, oh, his value is going lower and lower and lower, and the Bulls can't get rid of him. I mean, this guy's a superstar. If he goes to the Lakers, Laurel, with LeBron and AD, we're going to win the championship and automatically vault up to the number one team in the Western Conference because of, like, who's going to stop? Like, you know, you have LeBron and his dominance, him powering to the rim, you know, his crazy mid-range fadeaway, Anthony Davis dominating in the paint, blocking shots. And then when you double LeBron and AD in the paint, just kick it out to Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine doesn't need the ball. He's a really good three-point shooter. I mean, he's going to make our offense click, especially with Austin Reeves. I mean, that backcourt is going to be awesome. Like, that's what the Lakers need. And I would trade D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, our first-round pick, to get Zach LaVine. I like DeJounte Murray, but if you're going to go get DeJounte Murray, go get Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is better. He's more explosive. He's a better star than DeJounte Murray. I think DeJounte Murray will be all right, but if you can get Zach LaVine, why not pay the extra to go get Zach LaVine? So I would prefer Zach LaVine than DeJounte Murray if I'm the Lakers. And Lauro, the other thing I want to ask you about this Zach LaVine topic is, what do you make of Brian Windhorst's report that the Lakers have a 0.0% chance of getting Zach LaVine? Do you think Windhorst is just being a negative Nancy on the Lakers, or do you think that that there's something real to that report?
I think he's just being negative. I think he's an insider that I don't trust in that sense, because Brian Windhorst is always a Laker hater.
Yeah, I agree. When I read that report, I was like, I don't trust Brian Windhorst. I mean, that guy is a Laker hater. He doesn't really report any news on the Lakers anyways. Every time he reports something, he always gets it wrong. So I think Zach LaVine will ultimately be a Los Angeles Laker at the trading deadline. Can't wait to see what happens then. But Lauro, it's been a great show. Thank you so much for hopping on with me. One thing I do want to talk to you about before we get into your final thoughts. Teoscar Hernandez to your Dodgers. What's your thoughts on it?
I like it. I wanted another right-handed bat aside from Ohtani. I feel like that we're going to need to get more than that. I'm hoping for Randy Arozarena, which I'm going to plan to put him on the Dodgers in my show league, along with Willie Adames and Corbin Burns and all that, and get some more bullpen arms to kind of move on from some players that kind of don't want to be here. So in my MLB The Show League, Isaiah, watch for this Dodger team featuring Shohei, Glasnow, Corbin Burns, Randy Arozarena, Willie Adames, and Will Smith, and then getting back Kinley with Carlos Estevez, and also I also made a trade. I also included Devin Williams in the Burns and Adames deal to the Dodgers.
Wow, that Dodger team honestly might go undefeated. I mean, that's a stacked team.
Look, I mean, I don't expect them to go undefeated.
No.
We're gonna win and lose some.
Right. Like, yeah, like they're gonna lose some for sure, but they're dominating. I mean, that's gonna be a really good squad if the Dodgers put that together.
No, because in my show league, I'm planning to do those trades with get Devin Williams here, get Kinley, get Carlos Estevez, and then trade for Randy Arozarena.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a great squad right there. But Laura, it's been
go ahead. Isaiah. For me to get Arozarena, it had to take on the Dodgers had to give up a bad contract on their roster to get Randy Arozarena. And I had to deal Chris Taylor to Tampa with Miguel Vargas to get Arozarena.
Wow, but hey, you got Randy Rosarena though. He's better than Chris Taylor and who was the other guy? Oh, Miguel Vargas for sure.
Yeah, because also in that deal, I also included Isaac Paredes to be a Dodger too. He's like a
Wow.
really good utility guy off the bench where he
Yep.
can start from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. I
And then
just
the
hope.
Rays, because in my show league, I have the Dodgers now being named as the Los Angeles Rays with Plaza, Rosarena. So that's I had to make you laugh there. And then they're also called the Los Angeles Brewers.
The Los Angeles Brewers, I love it.
Burns, Williams, and Adames. But maybe Hader if that were to be the case.
Yeah, I mean that would be a really scary team right there. I just hope the offseason honestly picks up because I don't know about you, Loro, but it's been so boring when it comes to the baseball offseason. Like besides Shohei, there's really not been anybody that's signed Blake Snell.
It's because look, I don't think any team I see wants to overpay for Blake Snell because of his walk rate. Matt Chapman doesn't really hit for average. He's more of a homer guy. I still have him landing in San Francisco, but if he does not land in San Francisco, I have him going to the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, I got him going to San Francisco too. I think that reunion with Bob Melvin and Matt Williams, the third base coach, I think that really makes a lot of sense. So I got that too. And I got Jordan Montgomery going back to Texas. I think that's just a great match for those two.
Yeah, and then but I'm really happy about Randy coming to. I meant Teoscar Hernandez coming to the Dodgers. I just feel like that this free agent class, the holdup of this free agency has nothing to do with the CBA, in my opinion. It's because there's just teams that don't want to overpay for Blake Snell or Matt Chapman. It has nothing to do about negotiating a new CBA and all that.
No, I agree. I don't think it has anything to do with the new CBA. It's just teams like you mentioned don't want to overpay for Matt Chapman, Blake Snell. But I mean, I hope we get some movement soon because spring training is in 4 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. It's gonna get going for sure. But it's been a great show, Loro. What is your final thoughts for tonight's show?
I thought it was a great show. I mean, I didn't think it would happen. It would happen today or something like that, but
yeah, appreciate you for hopping on, and hope we might do. I know Ben is trying to do Kicking It with Cruz in maybe tomorrow or Thursday, so we'll see about that. But yeah, it's been a great show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks to all of our viewers that were watching tonight. But guys, it's been a great show, but we got to call it a night. For Loro, this Isaiah signing off. Stay safe, stay healthy, guys. And we will see you guys probably tomorrow for Kicking It with Cruz, and keep tuning into the MI6 Sports Network and the IM6 Sports Network for some great shows. Have a great night, everybody.
But I said, if you gave me Mahomes, if you gave me Lamar Jackson with his great legs and Mahomes' great arm, or you give me Baker Mayfield, who would I want? I would want Baker Mayfield, and the reason why is because Baker Mayfield.
I really think that now this is the worst case scenario for the San Francisco 49ers is that they're going to have to cut ties with Jimmy Garoppolo if I were them. What? Oh my God! Wow, man!
In any event, Kyle Gibson is definitely my NL Cy Young Award winner. Rock on, Gibson. And even
no way!
Oh my God!